was doing a gig for Microsoft, and I was not the only person on the bill. It was Leo Sayer, and there was fish from Marillion. Then we'll open them. Oh, cool.
What do you need to do next?
Right, I need to find a mixing bowl and put some corn syrup pecans in. I like to mash them up a bit, really.
Corn syrup.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a story. So when I was trying to find corn syrup for you, I know what corn syrup is, because it's almost what it says on the box, isn't it, really?
Exactly.
That corn syrup isn't readily available in today's supermarkets in the UK.
No.
What was very funny is a gentleman said to me, we have corn flour, which I had to explain to him that corn syrup and corn flour are two very different things. So one of the things, if you read up, is it says use golden syrup, because it's a sugar element, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's syrup, obviously not made from corn, but so what would you do? I mean, corn syrup, I would probably use a little bit less golden syrup rather than corn syrup.
Yeah. Mix it
because it's quite sweet, isn't it?
Mix it with something, or just have less of it?
I'd mix it with a little bit of water, just to take down how much sugar levels are actually in there.
Okay. Right, now, American measures are always in cups. So how am I going to do that?
Okay, so I've got the spices cooked.
Yep.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the prawns.
Yep.
Okay, we get those cooked.
Yep.
And then I'm going to add the tomato. I'm going to get it in the fridge because I want it to chill down. And then we're going to finish your pie. I'll help you.
Yeah.
Do you need a hand rolling out the pastry?
Yes, I do.
Right, so prawns. You know what, so go to your local fishmonger. I'm a big advocate of the local fishmonger. Go to your fishmonger and ask for proper king prawns, tiger prawns.
Yes.
You go to your local supermarket, they're half that size.
I know.
Okay, get them ready peeled, raw. So you've got no things. I've washed them, dried them, and I'm going to add them to the pan.
And they take out the, what's it called?
The vein.
The little vein that's at the top. Yeah.
There are other words that we could use for it, but things
they don't sound so nice.
Yeah, they don't sound so nice. So what we're going to do with these is mix in all the spices and just get the prawns until they just cooked. We're going to let those, and we're going to keep moving them around over the next 3 to 4 minutes. It's only going to take about 5 minutes for this to cook. Right. Because remember that once the heat gets in there, they're going to continue cooking. So when you take them off the heat, so you don't want them to be really too dry and rubbery.
So they don't quite go that golden colour, or they do just go pink?
No, they'll go pink. Yeah. That's what we want. We want that pinkness coming through on them as well. Get them ready peeled. You can buy them frozen because they work frozen. Defrost them naturally or under running cold water. Give them a really good wash, drain them well, and then dry them. And then obviously get them to this stage. You can use shell on. You know when you've got guests, it's really untidy, isn't it? When everyone's having to put their fingers in and everything else.
Especially if it's a posh night.
Yeah, definitely if it's a posh night. And what you're looking for is, you see they're starting to turn pink here. You get to that stage. If you've got a hot stove and you've got them working around, you're probably looking at about maybe 5, maybe 8 minutes of cooking. Yeah. Once you get that real heat in there as well, I'm going to add the tomatoes, add another couple of minutes, and I'm going to take them off. Right. And then literally I'm going to let them chill down and then finish them later on, because remember, with the heat they're going to continue cooking. Yeah. People quite often overcook prawns.
Would you put this style down to a particular region of India?
The south of India.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I was in the south, do you know what was really interesting? From the south to the north, spices were more prominent in the south, especially from Kerala through to the Western Ghats. Before you got as far as like Mumbai and then up into the north. Yeah. Spices in the south were great. And you know what was really interesting in the south? Yeah. Every time I ate, there was always warm water served with spices in. So quite often, because the coconut milk, because it's a natural laxative, they would have, and you'd eat with your fingers as well, I would have like hot water, and one of them I remember very well was ground turmeric in it and black peppercorns. Wow. And you drink it because it actually apparently is supposed to balance off with everything that you're eating with the spices and the coconut milk. Right. So you're seeing they're starting to firm up, they're starting to colour. Yeah. Again, just keep moving them around until you make sure they've got all that nice even colour all around. What I'm going to add at this stage, I'm going to take the tomatoes. I'm going to add those in. Now what you're looking for, you're not looking for a tomato sauce off of this, you're just looking to, it's more for texture.
Yeah.
Because what will happen with the warmth, they'll start to soften anyway. And this is a great dish. Either you can have it, especially. You know what I love when eating? Grazing. Yeah. You know when you have guests, we all make that effort of like cooking a 3-course or however many courses you're going to do, and everyone has an individual plate. Put everything down the middle of the table, take the pressure off, and let everyone eat naturally. Yeah, that's kind of what I like as well. Right. So literally, now what I'm going to do, a bit of seasoning, salt. So mix it in, make sure all the tomatoes are mixed in. And those prawns, as you see right now, they're just cooked. And then I'm just going to remove that off the heat. And that's ready. Lovely. Oh yeah. When it's cold, it tastes better than when it's hot, because the flavours are more prominent. Yeah. So I'm going to take this now, I'm going to put it in a bowl, I'm going to put it in the fridge, and I'm going to finish it with some freshly chopped coriander, olive oil and sea salt. We can eat that a little bit later. Lovely. Okay, and while we're doing this, we need to get on with yours, don't we? Yeah. Pastry, for me, should always be made 24 hours in advance. Yeah. Because it needs to rest. So I've already got you some, I made it yesterday for you, some short crust pastry. So there can be a sweet short crust and a savoury short crust. I've done a savoury one here, so it's not too much sugar. Otherwise, it'd be, if you've got sweet potato, it'd be too sweet. Otherwise, wouldn't it? Right. So, So I gather I'm rolling out for you, am I? Yes, you are, chef. All right. So tin. This is a pastry lesson. Yeah. It's a deep pan because you've got two fillings. Right. So you need to have the space. And I've got a clanky one because it's nice and easy to pull out. Right. So therefore it needs to go. But last time I did it, it shrunk back inside. So do you cut it, as in trim the pastry off before you bake it blind or after? Yeah, but before. All right, you should do it always afterwards. So always have the overhang. And what you do is when you've baked it blind, there will be shrinkage. Yeah. Okay, and then you just get some raw pastry and just fill the edges like that. Fill it with your things. And then don't cut it, the edges, until you've actually the finished dish completely. Oh, really? Anything you do from a pastry point of view. Right. So I'm going to do, we would normally do butter for just a sweet, but just olive oil because it's a savoury one. Yep. Just to make sure. I know it's a non-stick pan. Oh, I see, because it's savoury pastry. Yes. Right. So a bit of flour. Okay. And then when you're rolling out, constantly keep moving it, okay? Yeah. And not too much pressure, without knocking over the vanilla. Not too much pressure, and again, keep moving it. A little bit, don't over flour it because you can dry your pastry out as well, so move it around like that. So keep it moving. Move this out of your way, because it's going to get pretty big. Okay, and if you need be as well, just turn it over. You see it, I'm moving it. Obviously I'm rolling it out. If I had a stainless steel bench, I'd just have it out as is. So and the pressure when you're putting it on a rolling pin, put it on the areas that you need, but not too much pressure, you're forcing it as well. Yep. Okay. And then the best thing to do is always look at that and then think, right, okay, I need a bit more here and a bit more there. Yeah. And when you're rolling out pastry as well, take it out maybe about 20 minutes, 30 minutes before you're about to roll it out. Just let it come to room temperature. Right. Okay. So what you can do, fold. Oh, I know that trick. It might not work as well with me as it does with you. And then fold. And again, as well like this. And then the best thing to do is when you push it in, always push it into the edges. As he actually said to the bishop. And then, if need be, especially when it's thicker, if it folds over, okay, like so. And what I'll show you in a minute, because obviously there's the edge there. Yeah, that would worry me. No, hold on. and then take that, and then pastry chef for a few years.
Were you?
Yes, yeah, I was. I was a head pastry chef in a restaurant for a few years, and lemon tart. Do you remember Marco?
Yeah, I love lemon tart.
Classic lemon tart.
Yeah.
The pastry case had to be perfect to the edges. So you push and push down, so you see that edge?
Yeah.
And that's what you're looking for all the way around, okay? Like that. And then push up over here, like that.
Yep.
And then what you can do, a little bit of a trick, so you've got that almost ready, like so.
Yep.
Because you're not going to need that bit. Take that off, and you put that to one side, all right?
Yeah.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to bake this blind.
Yep.
You'll get some shrinkage happening.
Yep.
And then what happens is once it's cooked and it's baked blind,
yep,
then you can just take pieces off and you can patch up.
Right, yeah.
And that's how you do it.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
So right, we need to bake that blind. So I've got the pastry case. It's going to be about 10 or 15 minutes, so that's in the oven. We can play around with that. So what now? You've got another bit of the topping to finish off. You've got the sweet potato done?
That's the sweet potato done. That will go on the bottom. Now we do the pecan top. So basically, I don't like to have great big chunks, so I'll bash them around a bit first. And then most of them will split. Then we'll open them. Oh, cool. So I'll open it up, and then, in fact, I'll put them on here, and we can just break the worst in.
Do you break them some more?
Mm? Yeah.
Do you break them more?
Yeah, I'll break
so you're
them
looking for that kind of level of probably like that, yeah.
Slight roughness.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You see, most of them are done
through the
through the bashing.
And would you use any other nuts for this, or just pecans?
No, it's a dessert, so it's a very sweet nut. So it's definitely, and also it's a very New Orleans thing.
It's not a nut. Is very often used in the UK, I find. Is it really? Because we go for walnuts, Brazil nuts, any other nut except pecan nuts. It's very American, isn't it?
It is very American, yeah.
So we've got the pecans.
Yep.
You've crushed them roughly.
Yep. I've measured them, but I'm doing it in reverse here because that's sticky, so I'll do that last.
Right, no, fair enough.
So we use that. Now we need the same measure, 3/4 cup of brown sugar. So brown sugar, soft brown sugar?
Yeah,
I mean,
this is like a muscovado sugar, this.
Yeah, once again, you know, when I bought this book, there were so many different, the way they measure, the thing, like it says heavy cream, and then I found out that American cream is nothing like ours.
Oh no.
So therefore you have to go down to single. But for the chantilly cream, I go down to whipping cream. So I think it's lighter.
So it's all creams are all to do with the fat content, single, whipping, and double.
Yeah.
If you're making a sauce and you want to use a cream-based sauce, you should always use double cream because single or whipping generically split.
Right.
But in America, I cooked in New York years ago. Oh my God, the cream was a nightmare. I was doing a cook-off.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it killed me almost, but yeah. Right, so you got soft brown sugar. Yep.
You got 3/4 cup.
Yep.
Now we're going to get 3/4 cup of what isn't corn syrup.
So with this, so they said to me, the research I did, corn syrup's not readily available here like it is in the US. So they said use golden syrup in place of corn syrup.
Yeah, okay. But because it's so sweet, maybe I'll put a little bit less in. Right, okay, so then we'll
add that in.
Put that in there. Right, so this needs about 1.5 tablespoons of soft butter.
Nice English.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? So why don't we put that in there?
Yeah. Do you need that softened?
Please.
Yeah, okay, so I'll put this on.
In the meantime, I'm going to add...
Do you just need that melted for you? Just melted butter? Right, okay, fine,
just a pinch of salt. No, we haven't got any regular salt, have we? So
no, that's fine. Sea salt's good though when you're using sweet and savoury like this.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Another teaspoon and a half, I think.
You go on.
Yeah, that will do. A pinch of ground cinnamon, Because I love all these spices again. And
so explain. So this dish. How old is this dish in your life?
how old?
Don't tell me how old you are, but how. So
How
80s. When did you discover this dish?
Yeah, it's very much 80s. That's when that book came out.
So when you went to this restaurant, no, you didn't get to go to this restaurant, did you?
No, I didn't. Not the first time.
The second time?
Second time, I did. I think I said that I was there. I was doing a gig for Microsoft, and I was not the only person on the bill. So there's quite a few other artists out
So
there.
who else
There
was
Leo Sayer, and there was Fish from Marillion, me, Chris from Manfred Mann's band. Who else was there? I think we had a couple of American musicians as well, mixed in for good stead, you know, with Microsoft. It was the launch of Windows 2000.
Oh my God.
And they had the party in New Orleans.
Yeah.
So I went down there, I told everybody, you've got to order this with the mustard sauce because I make it at home. I don't know if it's too thick or too thin. You've got to try this, and then I want to try a piece each.
So you were pretty much, from the 80s, you took this book away with you.
Yeah.
For years you worked from this book.
Yeah.
And now you're going back, getting to taste the original recipes.
That's right.
Pretty much.
Yeah, yeah. And of course, we ordered this as well.
Do you need this poured into there?
Yeah, yeah.
So this is your melted butter. So if I pour this into there.
Lovely.
Like that. Perfect. Okay.
And, right. And so then so they got to hear that there was someone out there who was basically taking control of all the ordering, and they came and said, "Who's this person who's interested in our stuff?" And they pointed to me, you know. They said, "Do you want to come in the kitchen and have a look?" And Fish stood up and went, "I'll have a look as well," you know. So we both went in there. What's interesting actually about their place is what they do is they get what they call a skillet. Yeah.
Yes.
They heat them up so hot, and then they bend them in the middle like that, so it comes up like that.
Really?
Yeah, and so they're always cooking at the front like that, and when they do that flip thing, it
flips.
just goes bang. Yeah. And
Wow, I never knew that.
and then nearly 50% of their pans were like that. It's quite. I've never seen it.
No, I've never seen it. I've never even heard that before.
Yeah.
Right, so in here we've got the brown sugar, vanilla, butter, cinnamon, and you're mixing that to...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yep.
Yep.
To that, about that consistency.
So you're almost kind of just softening the sugar and everything and mixing all of that
Yeah.
in. So do we put the pecans in there as well now?
We can stir them in, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll pour those in.
That's it. It's just a case of stirring them through, really. I should have done that with a spoon because they're all going to get stuck.
Well, we can push that through with a spoon later.
Yeah.
So mix all of that in, and this is the topping then for it, is it?
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So basically you've got everything ready for the pie at this stage.
Here's what I didn't add.
All right.
I
So
was
the
thinking it was a bit
final
thick.
thing to add to this
Is
that 1 egg?
it's 1.5.
1.5 eggs.
Actually,
Right.
because that's going to help that to set. That's the consistency it should be. I was going to say something in a minute ago. I'm sure I've missed something out. There it was. Yeah.
Right.
Perfect.
Okay. So let's set that aside. The